Well, good morning, and welcome to another episode of The Journey of Sunday. I'm sitting in a goofy spot because I'm up here at Table Rock in Southern Oregon. And, this is what the beauty is right now. Our wildflowers are just going crazy. So I wanted you to enjoy some wildflowers as we talk this morning. And don't worry, I'm being quite careful. My elbow is in a spot that is not hurting any of these beautiful flowers. But this morning I want to talk about spiritual authenticity. This is something that's actually been coming up quite often in discussions, both with my coaching clients and my good friend Carla Navoa, that we do Testimony Thursdays together. But this concept that our willingness to be authentic in almost any situation, with any group of people, and showing up as the spiritual person that we are. And I've talked about this with people from many, many different places, because I believe that there are Christians, there are Jewish people, there are Muslims, there are Buddhists, Hindus, that, to talk about openly their spirituality in just an open forum seems quite intimidating. And for a long time, this subject of spirituality has been something that kind of gets reserved to closed doors. We really only talk about it at church. We only really talk about it at temple, or maybe we only talk about it with those friends that have similar viewpoints that we do. And this is just my personal opinion, and I think there's lots of you that might agree. But I feel like it's really important that we start to have these conversations openly and start to show up very authentically as who and what we are. For me personally, that's showing up just as a spiritual person in general in all conversations that I have. An example for me is that, with my family, it's not like anyone in my family would ever judge me for being a very spiritual person, and in fact they know that I am because they've seen these videos, and we have had conversations. But there's still this part of me that's very reserved about talking about kind of this universal spirituality that I believe in and how powerful I believe it is. And I think it's just history. It's just that we haven't, and so there's this hesitancy to start the conversation. And of course, there's always the hesitancy and the concern for being judged, or thinking that we're silly, or that, thinking our head's kind of out in these spiritual clouds, or that we're spiritual bypassing in some way. So I believe that, especially now, because there are so many things that tend to separate us in this world, if there's anything that we could potentially come back to that could put us back into a place that we can see each other for our true selves, it's spirituality. And I believe if a Hindu and a Buddhist and a Christian and a Muslim and a Jew and a pagan and fill in the blank, Zoroastrian, if they could all sit down and just talk openly about who and what they are without judgment and without the fear of offense or seeming woo-woo or fairy dust or any of those things, I really think that we would be in a better place. So that's really all I have today. I just want to kind of put that thought out there, and I'm very curious how you feel about it. And it's interesting because even this statement of spiritually coming out, I think it's quite funny to put it that way, but it's so true, right? It's time for us to spiritually come out of the closet as spiritual people and to, be true and have that courage. So, I'm very curious if you're in that place too of spiritually coming out. And, I think that's all I have for this week. I hope you enjoy the beautiful wildflowers here on Table Rock, and I'll see you next week for another Journey of Sunday. Take care.